Well, morning everyone. How are we doing? Are you all right? So back from LA yesterday. So I'm going to do a few little jobs in the garden before we head up to the plot and see what's what up there, and a bit of deadheading to do and a bit of tidying up and a lot of watering. So I just wanted to show you actually though, before I did that, the Japanese anemones that have come through, and they're actually earlier than last year. I've got two different colours, but I just want to show you them because I just think they're beautiful. So look at these, absolutely stunning, aren't they? Gorgeous. And just the other colours on the other side, not as tall, but this purple one seems to be spreading a lot quicker than the white variety, but because as you know, they do spread quite a lot, Japanese anemones, so you have to keep an eye on them, but keep them contained. They're absolutely beautiful. I actually just want to show you this shrub also. I actually don't know what it's called. I think it's some form of spirea. But I mean, it's nothing to look at. It's sort of here on the side of the decking. It's from the pound shop a few years ago, and it's very vigorous. But as you can see, it has, in the summer, has tiny little flowers. But as you can see, the bees absolutely love it, especially the honeybees. They're literally all over it. So even though it's like not much to look at and it's not very impactful with big flowers, you know, I just love it for the bees. Helpful to the bees. And also, talking about bees, so my Bergamot, also known as bee balm, is out. I grew this from seed 2 years ago. It didn't do anything last year, but it's sort of coming to its own this year. I absolutely love it. So it's a bit crowded there, so I'm going to have to shift it around a little bit and, well, do a bit of a manoeuvring of plants in the autumn. But yeah, gorgeous. Job's done, and it's time to go to the plot. We're at the plot. We're going to find out what needs doing and what is going on here. But first of all, I want to show you something that is very sad. There you go. Can you see that? And do you know why that's very sad? It's because it's currently redundant and not in use. Yes, and the reason for that is we have a hose pipe ban now on the allotment. We have had a hose pipe ban in Hampshire for probably 3 weeks or more now. So watering the garden at home has been, watering cans, it's been a struggle. Garden is struggling, but we're having to just do our best. But we were allowed to water our allotments with the hose pipe still, because we had an exemption for allotments. Now the exemption has been rescinded. We have to water with the watering cans. All my water pots are filled up. They were in preparation for. However, the good news is I've got a tap really near to me on my allotment site. It's very near to my plot, so I'll show you where that tap is in relation to where I'm standing now, so it's not too bad. So just there, and there's the plot. So, you know, could be worse. Yeah, as I said before, we are going to have a look, see what's happening today on the plot. I was here yesterday briefly, yesterday afternoon, because I've been away for a few days. I've been to LA again, so I'm back yesterday, and everything's seems to be gone a bit crazy. And the weeds as well have gone a bit crazy, which is madness because we've only had one downpour. There was literally one downpour last week. That's all we've had, and it's been very dry. No rain for months. So we're going to see what needs to do. It really smells in here, and I don't know why. It smells like manure, but I don't have manure stored in here. And then I was looking around and I realised what it could be. I think well, I know now because I've got my nose up close and personal to this, is my nettle feed. And as you know, nettle feed, if you've made it, absolutely reeks like fermented manure. So, but you know what? I've got to cope with that because it's organic fertilizer and I love it. Okay, less talking, more action. Let's go and have a look. Let's have a brief look. I'll show you a brief look of what I think I'm going to do today. So, I think a lot of deadheading needs to be done. So, cosmos needs to be done. Now these, I see these wallflowers, sunflowers even. This little beauty. However, these were just spare ones, right? So I just put them in a tiny little trough like that, which has got miniature dwarf dahlias in that I grew from seed this year. Obviously, you know, everything's looking a bit sad, and I put petunias in there as well that I grew. So it's all looking a bit sad, but I only put these in because I just didn't know where else to put them. Obviously, they've just not fared very well anyway because it's only a small growing medium in there. So I'm thinking this just looks a bit, I think I'm going to get these up because they just look a bit stupid now. More deadheading to do here for the dahlias. They're looking amazing now, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. This one, amazing. So yeah, deadheading. What else needs doing? Yeah, a bit of weeding. Bideweed nemesis is coming. A bit more weeding to do in this by the look of it. 4 million apples to pick up off the floor. Yes, this corn, I harvested the Sweetcorn. This is like a dwarf variety. It is called, I think, Swift. Yeah, it is Swift. As you see, I've harvested the corn. There was like tiny little extra ones like this, which literally come to nothing. So I think there's one left. That it was a late planter that I could harvest. So that looks about ready. Toss has died off. So yeah, but I think I'm gonna get all this up now, compost it. What else? Just having a look. Yeah, I do need to get in these beds at some point. You see all the previous video, you can see the leaf beetle damage. Now they seem to have reduced in number or gone on holiday. And the whitefly have as well, so maybe it was that downpour, or maybe they just got tired and wanted to go to someone else's plot. I'm going to strip a lot of these leaves back because the younger growth, as you can see, is looking quite nice. So I'm going to be quite brutal with this and see what happens. But I'm going to sow some kale as a backup in case these just decide to give up the ghost. Sprouts, coping. Purple sprouting broccoli, considering the weather. I've been watering it obviously, but it's coming nice, isn't it? Yeah, quite happy with that. And remember the dwarf growing beans I planted? Directly sown. They're looking alright now, aren't they? Look. Let me get this side. As you can see, where I've been watering it, we've got lots of weeds. Lots of weeds. So the weeding needs sorting, but there, I'm quite happy with those. What else? Oh yeah, I know what it was. Another big job. Okay, I'm just making a list of jobs and just telling you what jobs I'm doing, aren't I? Jobs list, a mental jobs list. So these are the last of the potatoes. These are King Edward and Maris Piper. As you can see, they just all died off, and I'm just thinking, I think the best thing I'm going to do is dig them up, and I've got some hessian sacks. I'm going to store them in my garage at home, nice and cool and dark. Yeah, and then I'll be able to get into this ground and give it a good old weed out, and and see what I want to do in the future. Yeah, so that's that one. Compost bays, that needs turning. What the bloody hell's happened to that? Okay, so this was covered up. Something's been digging in here, a fox or something like that. Ripped all this. I think I'm going to get rid of this. Look, it's all perished in the sun. Yeah, that's the danger, isn't it? This was supposed to be a thick tarpaulin, but obviously not UV resistant. So that needs turning. Tons of cardboard to make my no dig beds and bits of extra wood and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, let's see what else he's doing over here. Oh, look at this rose. I've got to show you this rose. Look at this rose. I mean, absolutely. Got some more buds coming out here. I don't think I remember. I don't know if I'd done this told you in a previous video, but this rose was from the pound shop. It's supposed to be a climber, hence why I planted it next to here, and put a bit of trellis there. However, you know the pound shop, it's never what it says it is it? But anyway, I can just tie that in so it's out of the way. That would be lovely. It's definitely not a climber. Okay, anything in the greenhouse that needs doing? This all seems to be looking okay. These are, they've got bloody tons of fruit on them. They don't seem to be ripening. That needs a feed by the look of it, because it's gone very yellow. These are the dwarf chilies that you may have seen in a previous video, Little Elf, but hold on a minute, is that ripening? Oh, I think we may have a little bit of ripening here. Right, these are going to need a feed today. Is that another one? Yes, 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 yes. It's okay, these are going to need a feed. That's another job. Yeah. Everything else okay. That's good. And then these are the ones up outside. No sign of ripening. They're all going to need a feed. I chopped this back a little bit yesterday, so the sun would ripen these romas. So I've basically chopped most of the foliage off, and I've took the tops out because I want them to concentrate, and rather than making more trusses, to actually ripen this fruit. That's the plan. Peppers are doing blooming brilliant. Look at this. Oh yes. Okay. Yeah. So these are all going to need a feed. These are doing absolutely brilliantly. Do you know what? Happy with those. Okay, let's get the sweet corn up. Actually, just harvested this one here. This is the last one. Let's have a look. Have a look to see how it is. The other ones had like really, well, varied pollination, so they weren't at the top of the, see here, they weren't sort of pollinated really, so they were a bit blank, but down the bottom they were really, really good, and they taste really nice. So let's have a look to see. Come on. There we go. Don't know what this is going to be like. Yeah, poor pollination. Yeah, let's have a look. I think that's what you call unsuccessful. Okay, let's get the rest of them out. I think I'm going to need a fork. a volunteer lupin growing in basically the same station. Let me show you. And it's flowered. I did notice this a few weeks ago, but I just left it. But look, so, look at that, gorgeous. Obviously I sowed a lot of lupins this year, so it's a seed has snuck in somewhere. So I'm going to dig this up and try and separate it from this sweet corn and pot it up or do something with it because it looks beautiful. Right, back to work. I'll put this in some water. Done. Just need to weed this over, smooth it over, have a think what I want to do with it. Because you know me, I don't like to have any bare earth, so we'll have a think. Compost all this. Next job, basically. Yeah, good one. So just basically lightly just leveled this with the fork. To be honest, there wasn't many weeds because I've weeded it before. So yeah, but I didn't dig it. So yes, no dig is the way forward for me. Right, next job, or is it a cup of coffee first? Just when you think the strawberries are finished. Look at this. They've all got flowers on them. And these are all supposed to have finished. These were the ones in the hanging baskets. Can't work it out. Just noticed that the sunflowers, my giant sunflowers, they're just falling over because the heads are too massive. But I wanted to just leave the heads on to dry to harvest some seed from it, but also for the birds. So I might have just to prop them up. I'll show you what I mean. But there's then the other one. There's some like smaller offsets of flowers on there. So anything that I think I'm going to cut down, I'm going to make a nice vase of flowers with them. Yeah, as you can see. Wow, that's heavy. Yeah. They're all sort of leaning over, and I haven't really got any stakes strong enough or tall enough to prop them up. That one, I might try and just prop them the best I can. But they've been amazing this year. Update on the tomatoes. We've got some ripe ones. Finally, some ripe Romas. This is looking good. Do you remember my melon mystery? Not melon mystery, I'm not talking about melons. Pumpkin. We didn't know what they were, did we? Well, I didn't know what they were. And they were from the same safe seed from one plot neighbour. They were all supposed to be the same. But let me show you what they all look like now, because every single one is different. And I think I know what's happened. I've read that apparently cucurbits, i.e. squashes and pumpkins, can cross-pollinate quite easily. So I think there's been a bit of cross-pollination. And Eric, who's my plot neighbour across the way, he said it's from the same pumpkin. That's the only thing I can think of that why they're all different. He said it's from the same seed. But like one looks like a marrow, one looks like a squash, one looks like a pattypan, one looks like a miniature yellow pumpkin, one looks like a miniature green pumpkin. So be prepared to see a pumpkin update. Okay, so I took a couple of these off already. Yeah, that very much looks to me like a marrow. So a couple of them have come off. And then I just showed you this one as well. I think this is some form of squash. We don't know what it's going to be like. Trying to turn it over to, well, hopefully ripen it up, and we'll see what it tastes like. And then I'll show you the other ones. So in this, the pumpkin obelisks, we have a small yellowy orange pumpkin. Some more coming here. Some more coming here. Yeah, this is going a bit crazy now here, look. And then we'll go around this side. You'll be able to see it's a different like shape one. Again. I mean, I can't keep track. Another little mini one. And there's about four of them on here. Yeah. Pumpkin mystery continues. Potato harvest time. Small ones, but it's been quite dry, isn't it? So getting there. That's still going off one plant. So I'm not going to film the whole of this bed, massive bed. I'm not going to film it, me just harvesting potatoes, that's quite boring, isn't it? So I'll just show you what it looks after, and I'll just get on with the job. Okay, progress so far. 3 plants in, quite a lot of potatoes, and there's some good sized ones as well. There are some tiddlers, but you know. Now, look at this, what I've just dug up. Now I know who the culprit is when they eat into your... You see these big holes? There he is, Mr. Woodlouse. Munched right into the potato. Found a few of these in my previous harvest, but didn't know what was causing them. I thought it was obviously some sort of pest. It wasn't like a slug, so I thought it was some sort of worm, but... must be him. Gotta be. Naughty. Now it is definitely time for a cup of coffee. You know what? I'm very pleased with that first row of potatoes. Definitely going growing King Edward again next year. So it's coffee time, biscuit time. And you know what I noticed? When I was harvesting those potatoes, in between I'd planted some African marigolds, which are still going strong, which are brilliant. Brilliant for trying to deter pests and also brings the pollinators in. The bumblebees absolutely love them, as they do with the normal French marigolds. These African marigolds, I didn't realise until I was harvesting the potatoes. I thought, what's that lovely smell? I thought, what can it be? I don't know what it is. And it was the flowers of the African marigolds. And as you know, marigolds have got that really not very pleasant smell to the leaves. I don't mind it, but you know, it's not fragrant. But the flowers are fragrant. Well, I didn't even know that. Did you know that? Comment below. But yeah, I'm going to finish my cup of coffee now.
And I think what I'll probably do is dig one more row of the potatoes today, clear those 2 rows of King Edward, and then get them put in the Hessian sacks and stored, and then the rest of them for another day. And then it's some lighter, nicer jobs like deadheading and planting and mooching around. So anyway, that's that. You know, I'm just here finishing my cup of coffee. This is my little seating area, and I'll turn the camera on now and so you can see it. It's got a Victoria plum tree just right here, which was on the plot when I took it over. I had a mature Victoria plum and a mature apple tree. That's it. But I'm just noticing, I was sat here and I'm just noticing the bark and the tree of the trunk is splitting open, and it definitely wasn't like that before. Let me show you what it looks like, and yeah, it's a little bit worrying really. So let me move that out of the way. Can you see? It's like it's splitting right the way up. And then I've noticed all here as well. Now, I don't know what this is. I've only just noticed it, so I've not had a chance to Google it or anything like that, but if you do know what is affecting this tree, or if it's going to be fatal to it, can you please let me know in the comments below? Thank you very much. So let me show you the haul of the 2 rows of potatoes that we have a harvest today. There's more beans to pick, but I'm going to pick them tomorrow, I think. I'm going to do a bit of deadheading now and watering, obviously. It's always watering, isn't it? Let me show you the spuds. There we go, look at that. Massive bag of King Edwards. Huge. That's 2 buckets full from, that's 2 rows. Like a massive bucket per row. And then that sort of marrow that we think is a marrow, and then I did chop down the sunflowers, some of them, and I took the best blooms and I put them in a vase at home. Fabulous. Okay, so the title of this this vlog was "Will the Plot Survive?" So that's probably a bit dramatic, but just touching on the fact that, you know, it's hard work to water a full plot with just watering cans, and we're in the middle of a drought. And it's all points towards climate change, and people are talking a lot about that, and I think we are going to have to adapt the way we garden, to be honest, for plants, flowers and veg and fruit. So just wanted to, you know, see the reality. It is hard work when you're under drought conditions and stuff like that, and I don't know if some things will survive, which will be a shame. Some stuff's looking quite ropey. I'm doing the best I can to keep stuff watered, but for instance the leeks are looking fantastic, but they're starting to bolt with the heat and the dryness. And so yeah, will the plot survive? Yeah, I think it will survive is the answer to that, because we're just going to persevere, and we might lose some things, but we'll start again next year. So positive mental attitude, optimism, that's what we need. And yeah, so jobs are done for the day. I'm going to get myself home. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm actually off for 6 days now, because yeah, just that's the way it's fell on my roster really. So until my next flight I've got 6 days off, which is good. So I'll be able to spend a lot of time down here and get stuff sorted, and the mental jobs list that I created earlier on will be getting ticked off. So that'll be good. So what I'll do, I'll make some more videos along the way to show you what I've been doing. And yeah, so if you do like the video, please like it. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe. I'd love you to subscribe to the channel. Really enjoy making the videos, and if you think someone else might enjoy this video, please share it. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.